I don't have a lot of time for the Children's Commissioner. I think it's like the Human Rights Commission. It's a complete waste of space and funding and doesn't do anything. But the Children's Commissioner has come up with the perfect plan for solving our unacceptable rates of child abuse. Sign a petition. Oh, yeah. So this was the media coverage, the fawning media coverage of our Children's Commissioner. The Labour government actually did away with the Children's Commissioner because it was waste of space, useless. And then the national government brought it back in, the coalition brought back in the Children's Commissioner. I want to show you this clip and just make a couple of comments as we go through it. So this is the news item about it.
Dear children, there's over 1 million tamariki in New Zealand, and you've all got your whole lives ahead of you.
In New Zealand, those lives are too often burdened by abuse or cut short.
Every 4 to 5 weeks in our country, a child is being killed by homicide.
Let's just stop it there. Every 4 to 5 weeks, a child is being killed by homicide. Actually, it's more than that. Do you know that it's more than 300 per week being killed in the womb? So that's 1,500 in your timeline, Children's Commissioner. But you're not talking about that.
Over the past decade, in our country, 113 children has been killed by homicide.
Yep, absolutely tragic. 113 children killed by child abuse. But the fact of the matter is, actually, there's been, in the last decade, about 180,000 unborn children killed in the womb. But they're not talking about that. So it's very hard to take them at face value when they are concerned about vulnerable children, isn't it? Anyway, let's continue.
This letter, written by the Children's Commissioner, is an attempt at the first step towards reversing those statistics, raising awareness of all forms of abuse, from neglect to emotional, sexual and physical harm.
Oh, yes, all forms of abuse. Oh, except that one of the most vulnerable children in the womb.
Empowering victims and witnesses to speak up.
All forms of child maltreatment, they are preventable.
The goal is for every Kiwi adult to sign the digital letter and spread it widely. But that won't solve this crisis.
No, it won't.
The Commissioner acknowledging today the government has a big part to play.
We know that to shift the dial on this, we also need those systemic factors to be addressed. Things like poverty, we need to see that significantly reduce. We need to see unmet mental health and addiction needs. We need to see those addressed.
Yeah, well, maybe the Children's Commissioner should go back to all the reports that have been released over the last 2 to 3 decades that actually, yes, it does talk about drug and alcohol abuse, although I haven't heard the Children's Commissioner attacking the Druggy Foundation for wanting to liberalise drug laws. Have you heard anything about that? This is the same Children's Commissioner who has been silent. The Office of the Children's Commissioner was silent during the abortion bill when it went through Parliament. I think the Children's Commissioner at that time was Andrew Beecroft. Silence. Nothing about the unborn child. And this is the same Children's Commissioner who wants kids given puberty blockers. Yes, that's what they said in their submission to the Ministry of Health. They don't talk about some of the root causes which have been identified causing child abuse, which is breakdown of family, breakdown of marriage rates, absence of biological parents and biological fathers especially. Do you know the safest place for a child to be, according to the research, is where the child is with the biological father, where the father is present and the father is married to the mother. That is the safest place for a child to be. It's not perfect. There are exceptions, but it is the safest by far. One of the most unsafe places is for where mum has the live-in, rotating, non-biological boyfriend moving in and changing. That's when a child is most at risk. But they don't talk about that. They don't talk about marriage or strong families. They go back to poverty. They go back to drug and alcohol. That's about the one accurate. But when they're not willing to defend the unborn child, they've already created a culture of death. And is it any wonder that we have a culture of death related to not only the unborn, but also our young children, or tamariki?